wrapped up in my sleeping bag, looking out the window at Aaron's house as the sun is beginning to creep over the horizon. And the trees are silhouetted black against the emerging blue sky with the fading stars up in the sky. And I think to myself how much I hate Aaron because he's got it fucking made with this fantastic house of his, this nice little piece of property tucked away out in the backwoods of South Dakota. God, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he dies of syphilis. You piece of shit.
I do not like talking in circles, which a lot of discussion happens on this here interwebs and in times before. Oh my God, communism again? Just didn't try it right this time. Oh my God, why are there so many corpses? Arguing with women that big is not beautiful. I mean, hey, you got to spend less. Your financial troubles is because you got a truck you can't afford. Get tired of it. It goes around because I'm wasting my time. Unless I'm compensated, of course, then it's not fruitless. But in the grand discussion of things, we have discussion because we'd like to discover the truth so we can make decisions as a society based in the truth so that we might progress as a society. We might all individually and communally advance forward as we figure out the rules of the game that nature, not man, has laid forth upon us. And I just, you guys know me, whether it was warning about .coms or the housing crisis or worthless degrees, and it goes in one ear out the other, and then you got these. I guess the other side of it is that humans cannot just give up the free sandwich, the free lunch. They got it. Their entire lives, their entire happiness is hinged on. But there's a way to get a free sandwich. You're going to waste your lives trying to make gold out of lead. They're just so committed to laziness. And this popped up again where indirectly, this time it wasn't a bunch of talking heads and CNN fuckwits with Professor Fuckwits there, Scott Galloway, where they talk about the Scooby-Doo Mitchell. How do we, oh my God, men aren't doing the thing. They're not our slaves anymore. They're not working and paying taxes. Oh my God, what do we do? Now, an article that was written about a month ago, as far as I could tell, it's been popping up. It was who popped? I know Joker, even maybe Old Man Rollo, Lisa Britton. Just it started popping up on my radar. Different. I'm like, why are we talking about this again? And maybe it was a Guardian article that they're citing where women were upset. Sit down. You guys seen you sitting down chairs? Women are upset apparently about something today, unlike all the previous days before. And I think the title was Men Make It Worse for Women in 2025. And they're upset. And what gets me is that it's just another article where we're arguing in circles and there is no tangible progress. I mean, a lot of people make money off of it. Women complain about their own choices, essentially. Person X complain, the meme where they take the stick and they're biking and they throw it in the spokes and they flip over and they blame someone, not them, right? That's what, and then people go and say, look at the idiot that threw the stick in his spoke. I'm like, can we get beyond this? Is going to happen. It's for our sanity. Let's move on. And I think I have to put a very clear punctuation on a topic I've discussed, but perhaps not crystal clear. Perhaps I haven't put it in black and white. And that is the paradox or the contradiction or the impossible impasse we're at. We're at an impossible situation that I think we all have to acknowledge and realize. And there is no solution to it. I'm just explaining to you that we're at this impossible situation. And somebody has to blink, but blinking would indicate that they're lying and I don't think people are bluffing on either end of this. Right now, everyone in this sex war, you're all worried that men and women are not getting together. And you're worried about the societal and economic consequences of that. Men aren't working as much. Men are going on welfare more. Where are all the taxes? Who's going to bail me out? Who's going to build the roads? I don't know, ladies. Have you thought about not majoring in dumb shit and maybe going and working on a road crew? Have you thought about? Never mind. Never mind. And also, men aren't asking us out. The low quality of men, economically unattractive men. But right, right. And so now, some people who aren't as smart as me, but they got an IQ above 100, are like, "Hi, wait a second now. You know that group of people we've just been shitting on for the past 60 years and blaming them for all people's problems? Wait, oh, the P9 people? Yeah. Apparently they played a role in society somehow. Apparently they make the money and invent everything and do most of the work on the up. Did you know, like, electricity just doesn't come shot out of Karl Marx's government Keynesian ass? Apparently there's like some guys maintaining an electric grid and they're attached to like power plant. Guys, who know? You know, all those people we've been shitting on and blaming it because Bipsy over here with her master's in English isn't getting a student loan bailout. Those people, yeah, apparently they're very important to the economy. And so these 110 at best IQ fuckwits over in academia and the media and all that. Scott Galloway, I'm looking at you. Hey, Scott, did you? Oh my God. And I can't slam on him too much because he's on these, he's realizing it. And then we got that broken record where it doesn't matter. Fox News, CNN, some podcast. Oh my God. Oh, let's stroke our beards. Oh, how do we get men motivated? How do we get men motivated? It's a Scooby-Doo mystery. And I think I know what the solution is. I'll tell you what the solution is. The solution is men are motivated by women. I've said it before. You can find it in my books. Men are the engines of economic growth, and beautiful young women is the fuel that fuels those engines. I know what motivates men in their entirety. But what that means, and they know it intuitively, but they haven't expressly stated it. All the talking heads, all the academians, everybody in the fucking think tanks and society, and all of us having this conversation, we know what the answer is. Thin, hot women that suck a dick and are nice. Did I make it clear enough for you? Who don't run out and cheat and like maybe, has a guy's kids and is a good wife and a good mother. If you want to have kids, if not, a pleasant, nice, attractive, physically attractive woman that we want to fuck. Not that we're forced to fuck, not that we got to get drunk to fuck, that we're like, damn, I'm ripping her clothes off and we want to fuck. Have I made it clear now? Have I made it clear? Here's the problem. This is where the impasse is. They know intuitively, though not consciously, women don't want to be that. That's what it is. The solution, you know who's responsible for the solution? You know who's responsible for the solution? It's women. That's what's motivated men since forever. Go watch any one of these National Geographic things. The only reason men do anything in the world is because they want to get laid, and it's by pretty attractive young women. Not loud, obnoxious. No, big is not beautiful. And what should be telling, incredibly telling to everyone in this conversation, regardless of which side you're on, is it is very clear women do not want to be that solution. Women do not want to be the fuel. They find it objectifying. They find it degrading. Now, that's not to say some women don't like right. And the right magic Chad comes in. It flips on its head, right? The right guy, but there's so few of those, it doesn't work. But generally speaking, removing that, what we estimate to be about 7% of the male population, remove that, women don't want to be the solution. Women don't want to be thin and attractive. Women don't want to be wives and take care of they've made it very clear. You can argue, well, feminism convinced them of it and brainwashed them. I don't know, genetically speaking, there seems to be, I think women are being honest about that. Maybe feminism pushed them a little bit more towards that direction, but I think women are being honest. And it doesn't matter whether they're being honest or not. These are the choices they've made. They made it abundantly clear. And how everyone avoids that discussion. How do we get men to work again? And I always say waistlines of women. Happy wives, make happy wives save lives. I think thin wives save lives. You want to motivate men? The only thing that's going to motivate them is thin, attractive, hot women that love them and treat them nice. Now, this obligates, remove male, female. This obligates a group of people to do something they don't want to do. And me as a libertarian and being for the individualist above all other people, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to side with the individual. Like, I don't want to force people to do shit they don't want to do. Right? I don't want to say, women, you got to get in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant and start making babies. No. You're a separate human being. And this is why we're at an impasse. Not to mention, you know what a pain in the ass it is pulling teeth? But most of you guys are like, most of you married men in America, right? I think I could say this safely about all of you. It's pulling teeth to get your wife to like you, right? Right? How many women just like, all you guys, how do I get the girls? How do I get the girls? Let me ask you this. Why is it that you are obligated to go and get them? If everybody loves each other, women equal, wouldn't they be throwing themselves at you? Wouldn't they making it very apparent and obvious? This is where I believe most women do not find most men attractive. It's not feminism, generally speaking. If they'd like you, they'd let you know. And the fact it is the silence, the lack of interest in women and men is deafening. It should tell you very clearly. They are microscopically, fractionally interested in you as you are them. We're not the fuel that motivates them. What motivates women? I don't know. Ask Rhinestone. More. That's more. All of it and more. That's what that would motivate. Dr. Charlie Taliban, Orion Taraban. I kid. Women want what other women want. That's the most precise answer. That academic philosophical joke of a discussion aside, they're not that interested in you. And now we face as a society a situation where if we, men and women, want a functioning society in terms of like electricity, roads, defense, food, whatever, what do you girls read? Range Rovers, bullshit college degree. It's not a degree. You're not getting an education. Let's just call it what it is. The college experience. Entertainment, right? You want any of this shit to work? You need men to work more. And so, but at the same time now, we have to essentially enslave women against their will to play a role in society they don't want to. I don't have the answer to that. I really do not want, I never do. I call it the tyrant paradox or the dictator paradox. You know who I never want to become? I never want to become Xi Jinping. I don't want to be that guy. Do you know what a pain in the ass it's got to be to dictate and tell a population of 1.2 billion people what to do, let alone think? Do you know, let me ask you, a married American man, right? All of you. What's it like pulling the tooth of another individual to get them to do something they don't want to do, whether that's your wife or your children? That's a nightmare. I would like it where girls like, this isn't going to happen. We're going to say, we really do like men. We were just joking or whatever, or feminist. It was a phase, a 3-generation long phase. Tee-hee. We really like men, but all the girl bosses and the feminist spinsters were lecturing us and made us feel bad if we wanted to get married and have children. Again, and here's where the sexes must separate. That's a you problem, ladies. But I think this is the conversation we need to have, is that if we want society to continue on, now they're all worried about population decline because, frankly, Social Security won't be funded. That's the main reason Democrat politicians or leftist politicians, not so much the Republicans, that's the main reason they're worried about a population collapse, is because there won't be enough slaves to pay for the old people's welfare. That's what it is. Go watch my video why declining populations don't matter. It's just like if as long as you don't have a welfare state where you need future slaves to pay for current people's shit, it doesn't matter if your population go. What happened? Well, let's say our population dropped by half. What? Traffic is halved? The current generation dies off and now the younger generation gets 2 houses in the inheritance, right? So what? As long as your per capita GDP doesn't go down, you're fine. So declining populations don't matter unless you have a welfare state, which the Democrats and socialists and leftist politicians all over the Western world do. That's the only reason they care about it. But because 1, they're leftists, 2, they're thoroughly ensconced in feminism and the feminist camp. But 3, I think morally, nobody really wants to tell other people what to do. I mean, dictators and psychopaths do, but I don't. I don't want to be Xi Jinping. I don't want to be Vladimir Putin. I want to go fishing, man. I want people to willingly do what they want to do. But if we don't point out the fact, the undeniable fact, the only way you're going to get men motivated to contribute back into society is you're going to have to give them women. Young, attractive women. And if you wish them to really be productive, their own children. Not a single mom's crotch fruit from 5 different dudes. My favorite is when they try to like motivate men. Let's have a social program where we'll get motivated speakers to talk to men. If there was a government program to get men, no, pussy. It's what men want. We want pussy. From, I don't know if I said this before, thin, attractive young women. Don't know if I mentioned that part. It's kind of important. It's the difference between putting, 93 octane in your engine and 37 octane in your engine. One's just going to gum it up and ain't going to go nowhere. That's a fact. That's what's going to motivate men. Oh, and there's other things. So that's the primary motivation, right? Secondarily, this would not obligate women. And maybe this is what we got to do. Maybe this is the compromise we got to do. You have to stop treating them like shit. You have to stop making it legal to discriminate against them. You need to shut people the fuck up, which violates freedom of speech. Knock it off. Really? Now okay. All right. It's weird. People who don't call me all of a sudden wait till he's on fire. Let's call him now. You need to stop treating men like shit, which means you can't stop discriminating against them. 2, you want economic production? Knock it off with the ridiculous fucking education requirements. You should be in an 8th grade education, and by the time you should be able to, I've never used anything beyond 8th grade math. Occasionally, rarely I have, but 8th grade education. If you're going to high school, you better give them a fucking skill and a trade. You better knock it off with this fucking ridiculous education requirements. Get rid of fucking HR. Right? Oh, you're posting fake jobs? Oh, you corporation, like we're outsourcing and having you training your own replacements? Gee, I wonder what happened to that CEO? I don't know. President Cappy, who said he wasn't going to be a dictator, just took him out for golfing one day and he got lost on the golf course. Don't know where that CEO went. If ladies, you could knock it off with articles where you blame men for everything. Right, fine. Go be fat, go be feminist, dye your hair ridiculous hair color, say you don't need no man. Fine. Okay, but make it fair and not necessarily easier, but certainly feasible, possible for all men to go and support themselves at least, right? Can you stop outsourcing jobs? Can you stop and having a shit ton of immigrants come in here, legal or not? You could, at least in the public sector, right? Free market could say free market things. People can, I don't want to infringe upon people's freedom of speech, but can the public schools, can government agencies, nonprofits, and can you guys stop it with the anti-male bashing? Maybe not say anything about the sexes. No, everyone's treated equally here and we're not engaged in that shit. And instead of hating on men, essentially, and blaming them for all the world's problems, and trying to curry favor, especially I'm pointing at you, Democrats, trying to win women's vote, which you've done admirably. making men the enemy and women the victim and all that. Instead of that, it's the great oddball quote from Kelly's Heroes. Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change? That would at least get men to work enough to support. Oh, and by the way, can you lower the fucking taxes? I know we all gotta make Becky and Trisha and Amy and Shaniqua feel good in the hoo-ha that they voted to take other people's money so they could be charitable and help some rando people they don't know. But could you make it that the average person, this goes for women too, could you make it so the average person in the United States ain't paying 38% in their money in taxes? Shit, could you have the welfare state at least just go to Americans, maybe, huh? That doesn't just make it so men can go and live a comfortable life, that they can find jobs. They don't need to go to school until they're 22. Right, fine. We're not going to get married. A girl, men economically unattractive. Fine. Could you just make it so that when we come out of school at 18, we have a skill or a trade or a talent, and there's corporations and employers that are willing to hire us because they didn't outsource everything to AI or fucking Durkistan. Could you make it that men could live and enjoy what certainly got the technology capable of having a first world standard of living? We're not expecting Corvettes and Ferraris, but can you make it so that there's a truck that doesn't have a fucking Karen in it nagging you all the time? Oh, you're going too far to the left, too far to the right. Oh, you don't have your seatbelt. Can you make it so a man can live in this country? Fine. He ain't getting to puss. No puss. Fine. Can you make it so it isn't a fucking nightmare for them to live? And then you'll get them like, yeah, I'll go be a plumber. I'll go be a tradesman. And they'll go play whatever, their hacky sack or their fishing, and they'll leave you girls alone. But if you really want to motivate men, you want to solve all the problems, you better start putting some 93 octane in that tank. And I understand the 93 octane gas is a sentient human being that maybe doesn't want to be 93 octane. I get it. You girls do not want to be the motivating force for men. You don't want to be the fuel for the economic engine. That's fine. You're going to have to give up first world standards of living. You're going to have to look and, good luck. You're going to have to wait a month and a half for your car to get fixed because the men aren't motivated enough. But I'm going to make it very clear right now. If you want to maintain first world standards of living, women unfortunately will have to abandon what they would prefer to do and go back to traditional roles. And men also have to realize that women just don't want to do that. Pretty obvious. And nor should you get angry at them not wanting to. It's their life. They're separate human beings. They're sentient human beings. They don't want to do it. So all of us better get real comfy with having lower standards of living. Or, as I write in my book, A World Without Men, which I have linked below, it's a fascinating read. You guys might want to take a look at it. Or, ladies, you can pick up the slack. You can become mechanics. You can become electrical linemen or line women. You can become the accountants, although women do major in accounting equivalent to men. You get to do all the other, you get to produce the real GDP, not this horse shit. I'm a nanny or an early childhood education consultant or a sociologist or a journalist. No. That fucking USAID welfare jobs, HR to contribute fucking shit to the economy. You got to go do real jobs. So you could do that. And then, we're all fine. We'll all have higher standards of living or equivalent standards of living. But you're going to have to put in the work. Otherwise, if you all insist on continuing doing horse shit, well, then standards of living are going to go down. Inflation is going to go up. There's not enough carpenters. There's not enough mechanics. Your electric bill is going to go up. Your water bill is going to go up. You're going to have to pay a lot for housing. You're going to pay a lot for repairs. And just get used to it. Get used to lower standards of living, which is what's happening to the younger generation. But if you girls, here's my final thought. If this has just been a bluff, if this has been a tee-hee, I'm just kidding, If this has been a power trip the past 3 generations of women, which I really don't think it has been, and you girls deep down inside did want to get married and you want to be pretty and all that other shit. When I look at obesity rates of both men and women in America, it's pretty obvious to me you guys love food more and laziness and sloth more than you love the opposite sex. It's just that's where I'm going to side. But if by chance this was just a big old hoodwinking by 60s feminists and they've convinced you girls to have this attitude and lip and the girl boss it like that, it's a girl boss's shtick. That's them trying to, what's the word? Provoke, agitate, flex. They're doing that on purpose to get a rise out. All these TikTok girls, oh my God, like that. That's all bullshit. That's just to get a rise out of you. But if this has been bullshit and deep down inside you girls just wanted to get married on, but you didn't have the balls to go tell these feminist spinsters, overlords to shut the fuck up and fuck off, fuck you. It's what you get for lying to yourself, not to mention society. And we pay tremendous price for this. But in the meantime, which I think is the real scenario, women don't want to be traditional women anymore. Women do not want to be the fuel in the economic engines. And nothing else is going to motivate men, right? Scott, I don't care what, I don't care what you come up with, man. I'd love to see what Scott and Dave Ramsey and Dennis Prager and the media and academia and Professor Fuckwitz all come up with. I can't wait to see what Keynesian government special fucking programs that doesn't involve tits and ass, whatever your non-tits and ass solution is. I can't wait. All staffed by a bunch of sociologists, right? I can't wait to see what you guys come up with as a solution. But in the meantime, I don't think there is a solution. And since there is no solution, there will be consequences. And the consequences is lower standards of living. Now, individually, thankfully, that doesn't hold universally true to the individual. You can be a man and you're in shape and all that. You can find yourself a hot, attractive woman and she will, if she's nice, she can, if you allow the analogy, there's a fighter plane. Traditionally, men were the pilots, women were the maintenance crew. You need both for the plane to fly. Matter of fact, I think some of these planes, like for 1 hour of flight, you need 10 hours of maintenance. The maintenance crew is critical. It's more their plane than the pilot. The pilot just gets to fly it. But the pilot is the one who gets all the attention and all that. And women said, no, we want to have the attention. We want to be the pilot. The guy's like, all right. And then one of the women, they went off, but no one's the maintenance crew anymore. And these planes aren't flying as well. I'd like to say something, but I can't because it's true. But truth is banned on the internet. Too harsh truths are banned on the internet. You can't have both. But if you got a dedicated crew and a dedicated pilot, it works great. You got the best fighter plane out there in the world. But nope, you girls want to be the pilot. Okay, be the pilot. But now we ain't got a maintenance crew. Wow, the planes are crashing. And I'll stand this. You're going to have higher economic growth because you did back in the day. Go look it up. Where you had the nuclear family. The guy was the breadwinner. The woman took care of the kids and maintained the home, which is a job unto itself. There's no shame in that. I don't know why. That was the best. That's where you had, in other words, if you removed women from the labor market in a fictional world, I'm not even advocating this, and they were the cheerleaders and the maintenance crew, and get out there, let's go get them, chief, and like go, and came back, let me take care of you, let's go. You're going to have higher economic growth and higher standards of living on one income. How do we do it? How did they afford this on one income? How did they afford this on one income? Because they weren't trying to both be pilots or both be maintenance mechanics. In other words, instead of putting into the gladiator rink 2 marginal fighters, you put in one really good fighter with a great team of trainers and a coach and everything else and diet and all that. That one gladiator is going to do better than 2 marginal ones. And that's what the that so far, based on economic data, if you care to look it up, is true. That's a factual statement. Economic growth was higher when you had under traditional roles. I don't care what you, because again, you're separate human beings. Of course, ladies, do what you want, but don't bitch about the consequences. Don't complain that men are fat or they don't make as much money, especially when you tax the rich men at like 50%. Also, you can feel good about your Democrat socialist bullshit. You girls do not get to have your cake and eat it too, no matter what the media and Oprah and the Democrats told you. You removed thin, attractive, hot women from the market. Men are demotivated. Stop bitching about men not working, right? And I think that will advance the conversation. We won't go in circles anymore. Men realize they are not entitled to women to be stay-at-home wives and thin and attractive. You're not. You're simply not. Those are other human beings. They can make their own decisions. And women have to say, yeah, we have to give up good-looking men and attractive men and hardworking men and being supported by men. That is not going to happen. And at least that will be progress. At least we'll be dealing with the reality on the ground. And there will be no more confusion. And then we won't have to have ridiculous Scooby-Doo mystery conversations on the old school media. We won't have Professor Fuckwitz or Scott Galloway, right, Scott? Have you got a solution yet, Scott? Let me ask you something. I don't mean to slam on the guy, but he's rank and file, cookie cutter, out of academia leftist who just had a little bit of independent thought. You watch. I love women. I love women. Women are the greatest thing. Oh my God. But I'm just saying, baby. But yeah, what are you saying, Scott? Men like pussy? You want thin, hot women? Is that what it is? Say it, Scott. Say it. In his defense, he can't say it because he is an academic. And if he said, he'd be fired in half a second. Look what happened to Larry Summers. If you guys remember him. Don't worry, Scott. We can speak the truth here on my channel because I'm not beholden to anyone. Link below, I have a book called The World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. Again, numbers and stats. I just went to the Department of Labor, pulled this Excel spreadsheet, which breaks down where men and women work and in what percentages. And I just said, well, what if we removed all men? What would the GDP look like? It looked like fucking bullshit. You know, when you step in your dog's shit and you look on the bottom of your shoe, it looks worse than that. That's a classical Renaissance painting compared to what the economy would look like if you pulled men out of it, which you are. Not my problem. I got my own tools. I fix my own shit. Ladies, if you'd like, just my advice. I know it's not what Oprah and Disney told you to pursue. I would pursue a car mechanic. If you have a choice of dating a car mechanic or some needle dick investment banker, I would go with the car mechanic. But far be it from me to tell you what to do, because status, girl boss. Oh my God, here's my boyfriend. He's an investment banker. He can't fix my car, but we don't have to. He just borrows money from other people and pays for my shit. What do you mean he's going to jail? Ooh, a mechanic? He's got oil on his hands. Ew. And I have a master's degree in political science, and he just went to tech school. Oh my God, Trisha. What do you mean my engine seized up? I have a warranty for 120,000 miles. What do you mean I had to put oil in it? Oh my God. Are you talking to me? I have a master's degree from Middlebury. Let's go to the super chats. Cyberbully, $5. Hey, Eric. Where's Eric coming from? I just cannot deal with overweight and tattooed women. The dating pool is so small if you want a thin woman without tats under 30. But see, cyberbully, that's my point. I don't think women, they really don't want to be your motivation in life. They don't want to be your solution. They don't want to be your source of happiness. They are choosing to do their own thing. Again, you could all argue this was like the article just came out that young people 18 to 22 are not identifying as trans or bi anymore because the fad went away. There's an argument that feminism over the past 60 years has taken what would normally have been, traditional stay-at-home housewives and turned them into tatted up modern day women. You could make that argument. It doesn't matter, right? This is the reality. Their motivation, what motivated them to not become attractive to thin women, is moot. It's academic. They are not in the marriage market. If you want, go get my book, The Book of Numbers, Analyzing the ROI in the Pursuit of Women, another math-intensive book. And the math, all that book really is the statistical measuring of women's behavior and men's behavior too, and seeing if there's any overlap between the two for possibility. No. Women have made choices that are very clearly not done with the intention of getting married. They have different goals. Getting married and be your pretty housewife is not their goal. And right now in the comment section, there's probably women who are like, I'm not going to do it. Right? They're even repulsed at the idea. You probably just want a girl to have. I remember this gal was a Republican. I probably still have the email somewhere. She thought she really liked me. I thought I really liked her. And it was very clearly known to my friends at my group, I was never getting married. I had a vasectomy. And what I wanted was a hot woman to serve me drinks back when I was drinking, dressed up in lingerie. That's what I wanted. And there's nothing wrong with that, ladies. You might want to try it. And here's a gal who, not a feminist, in like not even the breakup letter, because when just some letter she felt obligated to write. I just find it degrading that you expect me to wear lingerie and serve you drinks. That's like, what? And then, more another big nugget of evidence on my side. They don't want to be a sex slaves. They don't want to have sex with you as much as you would them. They maybe want to have children. But making a man happy that's not their goal in life. And we are witnessing that. How they came to that conclusion, whether it was in nature or feminism through nurture, it doesn't matter. Right now, the vast majority of women are not marriage material because they have not chosen to be that. They have chosen to be workers and activists and adventurers and other things, which is their prerogative. It's their right. I'm just trying to get men to realize they are not, society cannot and should not order women, let alone anyone else, to live a particular lifestyle. That is not your right. And if women want to live a different lifestyle outside of marriage and tradition, perfectly fine. Go ahead. I don't know. Maybe I'm just comfortable. I got a gal who's traditional. And maybe I'm comfortable with the economy going to shit. Matter of fact, I kind of cheer it on because I've hedged against inflation. I'm a minimalist. And I love seeing Americans are arrogant and lazy. And arrogant is one thing. Lazy and arrogance combined is another because they're just so confident and sure of themselves. I don't need no man. Bro, look at you. You're not wearing the shirt. Like, yeah, you know what? This society doesn't deserve to go on. You don't deserve a generation of children to pay for your Social Security. I can't wait. I can't wait for reality to beat the shit out of these arrogant, lazy Americans. Dating pool so small if you want a thin woman without tats under 30. Yes. They are not in. You keep showing up at the marriage market. Women are not at the marriage. They're not interested in marriage. They're at the car market or the organic grocer market or the traveling market or the fun market or the nightclub downtown market. They are not at the marriage market, right? People just don't show up at that market no more. I'm hoping this liberates you guys, right? I'm hoping you guys realize, hey, no matter what I do, comb my hair, get the cufflinks, this and that, girls are just not that interested. And hopefully one that saves you the pain and agony of dealing with it. What do I got to do now? What do I got to do now? What do I got to do? And you go on and live your life. And then it alleviates you girls of any kind of obligation or social pressure for you to like lose weight or do anything because like, no, if you're going to go be yourself, we'll just leave you alone. I just wish you women, kind of like I ask you men to stop. How do I get the girls? I wish you girls would stop bitching about why can't I find a man? Where like you destroyed them. You do not get, you do not get to be fat. Not to mention with the socialist economy that takes 50% of rich men's income, and have yourself a hot guy. It just doesn't happen. So can you both stop having to ask your cake and eat it too, and just go to your respective corners, ignore each other in society, and just do your thing? Okay, can we do that? Because that's going to be better than, oh yeah, no, by the way, there's going to be inflation, standard of living going to go down, but we don't have to be miserable and tortured over some kind of hope that we're still going to get together, right? Let's give up on that, right? Let's all give up on that. We're not going to get together. Have fun, do your thing. I'm out of here. We don't have to be at each other's throats in this sex war no more. We can just understand women aren't going to deliver what men want. Men are not motivated to deliver what society wants. And so we'll just, at minimum, not argue anymore and leave. Better Bachelor had a great video on this yesterday. Yeah, I think that's the one that motivated me. Their standards are just not going to be met. Right. Well, because they're not interested. If women were primarily interested in family and children, they would have lowered their standards. There would be more women into the market. I don't think that their standards went high. It's just like they got other things to do. They have higher opportunity costs. They have things they would prefer to be doing with their time. So if they are going to have a guy, it's going to have to be way the fuck up here. I mean, I get it. But then you girls better realize that, now you get the harem effect where, okay, those top 7% of guys, they're going to have a bunch of women. You're never going to get married, ladies. It's not going to happen. Space Cowboy, 50 generous dollars. Thank you very much. Whenever a species is endangered, we get the brightest minds to figure out what the problem is to make sure they recover. When the human species is on the same token, we employ the dumbest minds to make sure the worst possible outcomes happen. You know whose problem that is? Not mine. Look, the human race is going to continue on. Some people, not Americans, not Westerners, like to fuck. Some people even like kids. And once you've demotivated men enough, they will not create the economic production that is necessary to maintain the welfare state that everyone wants to vote in and have touchy-feel good times. And then you'll collapse, or it'll be a drastic inflating away of the things we need to survive. And even the welfare state won't. I mean, what's your welfare? You could get $1 million welfare check. What if inflation is 5 million%? It's bad times coming. Don't get me wrong. I know where this leads economically. I don't give a fuck because I'm prepared. And I cannot wait for this economic crash. It's not going to be a crash. It's just this continued deterioration. Just wipe all the normie conformies and the arrogant, lazy Americans out. Can't wait for it to happen. It already kind of is in a certain way. And if you guys want to listen to academics and journalism majors, what does This Week in Washington say? Oh, Anderson Cooper, save it, Anderson Cooper. Yeah. Okay, Nepo baby. Oprah, let's talk to the Oracle. Let's listen to, what do feminists say? I just laughed my ass off. It's just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. But yeah, until women get hot and thin and nice and nice and nice. Did I mention the nice part? It gotta be nice. It is, and you know what? At least what us men should do is stop arguing about it and just be like, yeah, no, we're not doing it. I think a lot of guys are. They're not participating. They're not asking women. No, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not going through divorce court, so I'm not getting married. I'm saving my money. I'm hiding it. It's in a truck. We're done. We are retracting our economic participation from the economy and society. And that speaks louder and is the ultimate real solution to this than all the Oprahs and the talking heads and the Anderson Coopers and the academics combined. I don't care what clever idea Scott Galloway or Dennis Prager come up with. At the end of the day, men not working, especially those who go on disability, there's been a 3-fold increase in the number of men on disability compared to women, young men. Because you girls just couldn't wait to vote in more free shit forever. Huh? You have a mental disorder? Let's give you money. Money solves everything. Just ask all the people who vote Democrat all the time for free money. Look how it solved all their problems. And now these guys like, yep, I got a touch of the tism. Money, please. And there's some schmuck of a sociology majoring woman there typically. Here's your money. Oh my God, are you all right? You need more money? Ah! Why is my rent so high? It's Trump. Space Cowboy, $5. A woman's greatest problem and solution is herself. Men can't fix that. I think that could be said of everyone. You're right. Yeah, you got to support yourself. You got to give yourself purpose and reason to live. Society sure the fuck ain't going to do it. Well, society will tell you it's voting for higher taxes and helping other people that aren't your children. Yeah. Ever since Gen X, everyone's had to figure it out themselves. And we are our own solution. And if we're not going to get together and make it with the bam bam and have kids and find purpose and reason, and okay, fine, we'll find something else to do. I strongly recommend a lot of you go read some Arthur Schopenhauer, because that dude was legit like, man, people fucking suck. And I got to derive my purpose and meaning out of society that's populated with these low IQ, ignorant, sheeple fucks. It's like, no, I'm going to go walk in the woods instead. I would also recommend Coach Greg Adams, who has it's not as selfish. It's just, look, when society wants nothing to do with you, especially the opposite sex, you have nothing but yourself to go and improve upon. So it's like, well, what am I going to do? Work out, go for a hike, do what you want. It ends in about another 30, 40, 50 years, depending on your age. So go have fun. I think we both, men and women, could advance here. We stop worrying about each other. Right, ladies? Like, look at all the feminists who, obviously they don't want to have anything to do with men. And generally do hate men. Not all of them, but generally they do. Why are you obsessed about men then? Why do you talk about them? Again, the happiest feminist should be someone just like, I'm not dealing with men anymore. And they go off and they become a great fisherwoman. They go off and they do sculpting. They go off and whatever, have the career. But they just, Gosh, I can't hear you. Chad Twizzler, $5. Most women are fueled by popularity, conformity, security, and entertainment by T-Rash. You're not wrong. And men aren't by popularity, conformity, and security? Bro, I gotta get my Hellcat, bro. I listen to Diggity Doggity Doggity Doo. He's the best Wyoming, Chicago, East Coast, West Coast rapper who sings the song Bitches and Hoes. Most women can't entertain themselves, expect men to do it. Repeat after me. Sounds like a them problem. I've already seen an increase of people like, nope, not my problem. Not my problem. Not my problem. Ladies, go entertain yourselves. If there is to be a call out of the contradiction, did you women not say for at least 5 decades you didn't need men? Entertain yourself then. Okay. We will honor your choice. It's the great quote from Father Goose. My primary concern is for the children. And then Cary Grant says, well, why don't you go concern yourself with them? Because he just wants her out of his face. My concern is for children. And he just, why don't you go concern yourself with them then? Reen, $5. Have a field report of women affecting men. It's affecting, right? Basically, unmotivated friend gets 23-year-old hot and nice girlfriend. Now he's a manager in 2 years. Now married. Oh, so he had a hot gal, motivated, kind, friendly, and cute. And yeah, a lot of it was luck outside of my control, but a lot of reason for my success is because my girlfriend wasn't a pain in the ass. It's not that she was hot or we had great. She is a mature, responsible adult who has her own job, and I don't have to fucking babysit too much. You're all going to have to babysit a little bit because they're women. Just this talking about coconut oil. I use it to moisturize my head. It works. And she's like, well, you're out of coconut oil. I'm like, yeah. And I'm just thinking like, well, just get some more. well, I was thinking about getting this kind of coconut, but the other one kind of great. And I'm just like, and she knows, you don't care, do you? Nope, don't care. Just get the fucking coconut oil. they're women. I'm thinking, I need to anchor down that cable because the wind kicks up pretty. I got to make sure before I gotta turn on the hot tub, and I got work to do. And what's my topic going to be? Do you want this type of coconut oil or that type of coconut? Because oh, you don't care. No. Aside, which you're never going to escape. You will never escape it, gentlemen. But generally speaking, she cooked for me. Was it a pain in the ass? Didn't punch me. Didn't slice my tires. And once all that shit took care, like, oh, you're out. You're not going to nightclubs. You're not like, no, I got this taken care of at home. Why go for burgers when you got steak at home? Paul Newman quote. And then, yeah, you know what you do? You focus on your fucking shit. Somebody, you know what else, Reen? Somebody did a book on the captains of industry in the United States. They studied them. And all of them, this is not an endorsement for marriage today, but all of them got married very early, even for them times. And then they weren't distracted by women. They moved on and focused on other shit and built their empires. What I'm pointing out is there is no women coming for the vast majority of you. And instead of finding some gal to get married and having that itch scratched and then moving on and making something great of your life, you got to abandon that altogether. Instead of getting married, you have to accept you're not getting married, so you move on and do other shit. And ladies, it's up to you. You can let us know if your marriage, but men do not have the time or life expectancy to deal with this bullshit anymore, let alone argue about it. Move on. You have a life to live. Without women, without fine, you still have a life to live. And at any point, ladies, if you wish to, let us know. And you know how you'll know, gentlemen? You know how you know when women are interested in men again? They'll knock it off with the ridiculous hair colors. They're not going to do the tattoos, and they'll be thin. And until that time, you go to Walmart, go out in public, look around, and you'll have your answer. Are they wearing dresses? Are they have long hair? Is it a normal hit? Do they look like women? Are they delivering what men want? They aren't. Get back to work or get back to having fun. Christoph and on $5. If a woman is really interested in a man, she will crawl through broken glass to get him. This is a clue. Yes. Do your thing, guys. Do your thing. Become the best man or whatever it is that you want to do. That will, ironically, make more women attracted to you. But we don't have time for this. What do women want? Where's the solution? No, we're done with this shit now. Ladies, we'll be here if and when you're ready. If you wish to, otherwise, cool. You know, we'll leave our number at the marriage or the dating market. You call us, we'll come to the dating market and we'll show up. In the meantime, we got other shit going on. I think you women should do the same. Stop pining for men. Knock it off. You're not interested in it. You're not going to deliver what the counterparty wants. So stop wasting your time. Go do whatever else it is you want. And don't be angry at men. Don't be upset. Men want sex from thin, attractive women. I don't know if I mentioned that part. You don't want to deal with that? Fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Then go eat ice cream and have fun and enjoy a quite indulgent and easy life. Cyberbully, $5. WLF, what if we went back to traditional roles? Would the global economy collapse? Single working women drive consumer? No. No. If you went back to traditional roles, frankly, I mean, some things would collapse, but they're not important to the economy. Oh no, what would we do without USAID or DEI girl bosses or HR or marketing? The one real part of the economy that would be affected would be medical, because we make a significant percentage of the nurses. But you would have women taking care of their children, which would lessen the demands on the welfare state. There'd be an adjustment period, about a generation. But the global economy wouldn't collapse. I'm sorry, ladies. Go get my book, A World Without Men. Some women do produce right. There are doctors, there are accountants, but you make It's like 30% of the critical GDP. The rest of it is all horse shit. And I explain it this way: is like men make up damn near 98% of the critical economic infrastructure that the rest of the bullshit economy relies on, like theater, movies. These are nice things to have, but they're not critical. Social workers, early childhood education teachers are just babysitting, right? Again, there are female plumbers, there are female accountants, but they're very small in number. And what you would have, what would you have? You'd have an increase in wages. Money would be redirected to different things. So Range Rovers would definitely take a hit. Handbags would definitely take a hit. The fashion industry would take a hit, but then baby clothes would compensate. Or trying to think what else. Home goods would increase. You would just move the money. It would go from here to there. People would not be getting Audis. People would be getting Chevys or minivans. And the consumer spending, yeah, there wouldn't be nightclubs. Are there any nightclubs now? And you'd have baby formula. But I don't want. Okay, you don't have to. But I guess I'm just asking. Can you shut up? Fine, we agree with you. Now shut up. Just shut up. They're not going to. These are clickbait articles too, by the way. The Guardian had the clickbait article. Space Cowboy, $5. I don't mind women wanting to be whatever, but cut the damn complaining and blaming. Thank you. Exactly. You're an adult. Make it happen. You've made your choice. You can have chocolate or strawberry. Which ice cream do you want? I choose chocolate. Well, then don't bitch about not having strawberry for the rest of your life. Say, I'm glad I got chocolate. Paul Smith, $10. Go get a slice of pie at Perkins. No, the Perkins in Rapid City closed. There's 2 left. Thank you for the $10. And then you got to go to the South Side Perkins. Or you go to the East Side Perkins, and both of the Perkins are shit. I will not go to Perkins anymore. It's not that the North Side Perkins was bad. All Perkinses have become shit. With $10, what I'll do is I'll get there's a chain of sit-down restaurants called the Millstone. And they got a really good apple crumble with ice cream. So they heat up the apple crumble and they put 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream. I'll go get that. Thank you, Paul. But Perkins is over. Hey, retired Rob, $5. I have you motivation. 2 old timers making a 32-foot Peterbilt out of a 25-foot one. The old guy's 75 this year, Mr. Cappy. Nice. I'll tell you this. I pride myself more on my completed books than having sex with an individual woman. Like, I got a notch. Yeah, it's a little bit of pride. I banged a new gal. Okay, cool. I have way more pride in finishing a book. Not reading it, writing it. Climbing a mountain that's of serious height. Yeah, I have way more pride in that than, I banged another girl. And once you guys get over your genetics and the feasibility, you're like, yeah, man. Dude, all that time I wasted at nightclubs chasing girls, I would have traded like 90% of it in just to do anything else. Anything else. Mazel, hey man, how you been? $5. Men are turning down the flame of the economic furnaces. No, we're not turning down the flame. There is no fuel in the tanks, and the factories are shutting down. That's it. You don't give us a reason to live, we're just going to get by. We will be that person with the floor mattress, the TV, and the PlayStation, and nothing else. And then you see how much you see how much food is produced. You see how much electricity we generate. I'll be very blunt and direct. Society right now has no idea how hopelessly dependent they're on men. No clue. No clue. You have no idea just how utterly dependent you are on men to do nearly all the important shit in this economy, namely the electric grid, all the computer systems that run it, all the computer systems that run everything else, transportation, and food. Guess which sex makes the majority of farmers? No idea. But I don't care. I got me my solar panels. I'm good to go. I got backups. I'll tell you girls again, mark my words, ladies, 2025. You want a man? You go find a mechanic or a carpenter or an electrician. That's going to come real more important in the next 10, 15, 20 years than your fucking private equity, bro. And you better hold your nose and start finding Republican men attractive, because these pussy Democrat soy boys don't do jack fucking shit except bitch and whine and hold the sign and dress as a furry. Let me know how that puts food in the ground for you. All right. The Book of Numbers analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women. That's linked below. And that's not linked below. And then, what was it? A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. Both men and women should read it. If you care to realize what's at stake here, ladies. And I even go through, a lot of it is written for women. Like, there's an entire chapter dedicated to the choices women have. You can, what was the 3? Freedom, standards of living, and sloth? No. I forgot what the 3 were. And it's the classic choose 2. You can't have 3. And there will always, the third one will be your consequence. You could choose 2, the third one's going to be the consequence. But there is no, we're at the last stages where mostly women are trying to desperately have their cake and eat it too. We're in the last stages of that. And the consequences are coming. We will probably see the consequences in my lifetime. Certainly yours if you're younger than me. I might be able to see it. And in certain ways, we already are. But you know whose problem that is? Not ours, because we could get by on 20% of an income that a family needs. All right. See you guys later. Toodles.